Good morning guys and welcome back to the channel. How are we all doing? Happy Sunday. Right then, so what are we doing here today? As you might well gathered, this is my first initial views of the Asics Metaspeed Ray. Right then, let's get straight into it. So, the Asics Metaspeed Ray. I purchased this 100% with my own money. It cost me £265. What I'm going to do for you, because as regular viewers know, I use this as my marathon shoe in this latest marathon block, and obviously in my marathon race day at the Milton Keynes Marathon. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to give you a quick technical overspec, then we'll get into my initial thoughts, as in pros and cons and how I think the shoe's going to perform going forward. Will I use the shoe going forward? We'll see. A quick tech spec of the shoe. I shall put all the details on the screen for you. As my UK size 8, we are looking at 125 grams and 4.4 ounces. You have got a 44mm heel drop with a 35mm up front here, which gives you a 8mm drop in total. Let's start with the upper, work our way down to the midsole, and we'll finish off on the outsole. So this is Asics' new Matrix upper. Now, you don't get much protection with this upper. This is a very paper-like thin upper. As you can see, it is super thin, super breathable, very lightweight. I mean, this shoe is designed to be a race shoe, not a training shoe, a race shoe. So in this shoe, the upper will really hug you. I found myself to have a little bit of room in the front just here, but as you work yourself around the shoe, it seems to mold to the upper of your foot. It will hug you, it will keep you locked in place. But with keeping yourself locked in place, I would say though, this tongue, as you can see, it is very paper-like. It's not a gusseted tongue, nothing like that. It's just going to sit there and float around. So give yourself a little bit of time to actually get that tongue laid flat on your foot, get those laces nicely cinched on, not too tight now. Don't be too aggressive locking those laces on, because you haven't got that much protection on top of your foot and you could get a little bit of lace pinch. But once you get locked into the shoe, you ain't going nowhere. So, and I found that a nice comfort. It almost, like I say, when your foot goes in, it almost, we'll get to the midsole in a minute, but obviously it seems to cup your foot. It locks you into place, which I found really nice. So I did enjoy the upper. At the back here, there's not much, there is a little bit of rigidity. You can see there is a little bit of padding going around here to give that little bit of rigidity. You do get a little bit of padding around this heel to stop any heel rubbing. So there is a little bit of padding just around here, which is nice. This will sit nicely just underneath the ball of your foot, just here. And there is a tiny bit of padding just here, not too much. I'm not going to say it was padding, to be honest with you. Like I say, the upper, it's designed to be a race upper. It is super light, super thin, and also the laces. Now, I love it when shoe companies put these laces onto their race shoes, because these little, what would you like to call them? Bitey laces, perforated laces. But anyway, these laces are so nice to actually get a good lockdown on the upper. So great work, Asics. Absolutely love these laces, love them. So for me, with the upper, the fit was spot on. It locked me into place. It kept my foot nicely locked in, because at the end of the day, when you're racing, you want to be locked into place. There doesn't want to be any movement. I didn't have any issue at all with this upper. I found it very comfortable, super breathable, and very lightweight. So obviously, if you're running in hot climates or in those summer months here in the UK, I know we don't get many heat waves and all that, but this upper is going to be fantastic for those summer races. This is Asics' FF Leap foam. Now, There's no dual foams in this. It's not FF Turbo and FF Leap like in the Metaspeed Tokyos or the Metaspeed Edge Tokyos. So there's no dual foams in it like in the Edge and the Sky. It's just all FF Leap, and it is super squashy, super, as you can see, look at that. Oh. So as you can see, by even looking at this pair of shoes I've got now, it is getting pretty well beat up. Lots and lots of creasing. But to be honest with you, I think this is just aesthetics. This foam is meant to be compressed. It is super squashy, super bouncy, super light. And I think I'm going to get another good marathon out of this, maybe a couple more races. I think this is just purely aesthetics. So it doesn't look pleasing on the eye with all this creasing, but like I say, if the shoe's going to be performing, that doesn't really bother me. Full FF Leap foam, and that does have its pros and cons. Now, did I choose the right shoe for the marathon for me? What I would say with this FF Leap, with it being super bouncy and super squashy, it does obviously give you that. It doesn't feel as aggressive for me like the Edge or the Sky. For me, the Edge was my ultimate race shoe, as I mentioned in a previous video. For me, the Edge had that kind of, it had that pop, it had that rigidity. It wanted to throw me forward. With this one, there was a lot of bounce. There is pop, don't get me wrong, there is pop to it. It will throw you forward, but I didn't feel that same amount of aggression like I got in the Edge. So for me, that was a little bit of a negative for me. I love the Edges. For me, it's the ultimate race shoe. With this, if you like something like, try and compare it to like probably the Saucony Elite, the second version. This is, I'd say it's even more squashy than that, to be honest with you. There is a lot of bounce in it. It will, like I said, there is a lot of propulsion to it, but not on the same level as the Edge or the Sky. In this midsole, we have got a carbon plate. Now, it's not a full-length carbon plate. It is like it's like a teardrop-shaped plate, and it only sits in the forefoot. There is nothing in this rear of the shoe, nothing in this heel. The carbon plate will only just sit about, and it'll finish just about here. So, again, there's pros and cons with that. They obviously wanted to save as much weight as possible, which they have done. It is the only thing I can compare this to with the lightness is probably the Nike Streak Fly 2. That is obviously the ultimate in lightness. This, for me, it's just as light. You don't feel like you got something underfoot. There, again, pros and cons with having that teardrop plate and it not being a full length. The cons are going to be you're going to lose a lot of stability in the shoe, and Asics obviously have lost a lot of stability here in this shoe. Now for me, when I was cornering, it can get a bit dicey, I'm afraid. When I was running on the marathon, and this, to be honest with you, this marathon was the perfect opportunity to showcase the shoe because there was a lot of twists and turns, there was a little bit of multi-terrain, but yeah, the twists and turns for this on this shoe, you've really got almost hanker on the brakes. Actually trying to run at a 90-degree bend in this shoe, you could end up rolling your ankle. I know it's a quite stacked shoe as well, but like I say, there is no stability in the rear end. If you're a heel striker, I would also say stay away from this shoe because all you're going to do in this shoe is sink. You don't get that feeling like a sink and a roll. You don't get that rolling through. Like I say, this heel, there is nothing to this heel apart from a lot of squash and sink. If you're a mid-foot to high forefoot runner, I am a high forefoot runner. So for me, I'm constantly on my toes and it was constantly bouncing along. It felt good. It's a different kind of feeling, like I've mentioned before, to the Edge Tokyo and to the Sky Tokyo. Different feeling shoe. But I wouldn't recommend this shoe at all if you're a heeled striker. I would say please try something else. You might find yourself in a world of problems, especially if you're cornering in it. The midsole for me, it worked. It worked for I would say that tempo pace and marathon pace. So I took this out for one run before my marathon. I needed to try the shoe, and I took it out for a tempo session. I don't know if you guys can actually remember the clip of the video, but I took it out for a tempo session in the marathon build. I loved it then. I thought it felt great. So I chose this as my race day marathon option. Now, for me, this shoe was... I think it will be interesting going at those high paces, your 10k and 5k. I'd love to probably try this for a full send 5k, to be honest with you, because it could get quite interesting. It doesn't feel for me like a 5k and 10k shoe. For me, there's too much stack there, and there's probably, now then again though, I won't say the stack, but I think there's not enough firmness for me. I prefer my shorter distance shoes just to have that more firmness, like your Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3s, or your Street Flies, your Vaporflies 2s, that is. I need to have a bit more rigidity and in my race shoes for that type of distance. But it worked for me at the marathon. I enjoyed running it, and there was a lot of energy return. I got to marathon pace well, and I seemed to want to keep at marathon pace quite well. No matter what shoe you got on your foot at the end of the day, if your legs are gone, your legs are gone. But obviously, the shoe did actually feel still quite nice to actually run in when my legs were really giving out to me at the end of the marathon. So that was a bit of a nice feeling for me towards the end of that marathon. Now, for me, I don't know how long the shoe is going to last. I can see this probably starting to break down quite a bit. I'm sat on the fence with it for actually durability at the moment. It still feels nice. I mean, I did take it out for a little spin when I did some B-roll film. It still feels nice. It doesn't look aesthetically pleasing anymore because that foam is starting to really compress. The outsole is still looking okay. I mean, there is... With the outsole, there is a very, very thin layer of rubber here. It's only in places you really need it. So you've got I'll say about 1 millimetre thick of tacky rubber in the forefoot. You've got 2 little patches here in the heel, but the rest of it is exposed FF Leap foam. I've picked a couple of thorns and all kinds of bits and pieces out of it. So it could start to break down very, very quickly, but obviously the jury's going to be out on how long it's going to be lasting in my rotation. With the outsole, you can see it has a very, very thin layer of rubber. Now, I did actually find with this outsole, it is very sticky, it is very tacky. So when I was running along either last night, like I said, I took it out for some B-roll footage. It was slick, it was raining. I didn't really have any issues with grip last night. So that was a bit of a bonus. I mean, that was the first time I really took it out in any kind of wet conditions. And to be honest with you, it did hold up quite well. The shoe, obviously you're pretty much aware if you're buying the shoe, this is going to be your out and out marathon racer. You probably could take it down to the half and give it a good blast out of the half marathon. But yeah, for me, this is Asics' marathon premium racing shoe. Please don't think you can take it out on the trails or any light buff trails or anything like that, because you will absolutely chew this foam up and chew this shoe up like you wouldn't believe. It is not meant for trails. It's not meant for being on that kind of surface. Nice, smooth tarmac, and you will feel the benefits of this FF Leap foam, which is absolutely superb, by the way. For me, how did it go at Milton Keynes Marathon? Obviously, regular viewers will know the Milton Keynes Marathon for me, it didn't end how I wanted it to. But let's talk about the shoe. The shoe performed brilliantly, if I'm being honest with you. It seemed to lock me into pace very early. I had to keep myself pulled back, which was obviously which was the plan on the day. I kept myself held back. But once I got some space in front of me, it locked into pace nicely. I bounced along. It felt very, very plush underfoot. Like I say, there was some aggression there, but for me there wasn't enough aggression there that was like the edge or the sky. No, for me especially the edge Tokyo. I mean, like I said, I will keep banging on about that shoe because I absolutely love it. It's a different feeling underfoot, it really is. So I mean, it is on the high end price wise. Like I say, it cost me £265, but if you're comparing it to something that's like the Adidas Evo high-end shoe, which is like 400 plus, I suppose this is a snip at the price really. But I would baby the shoe, if I'm being honest with you. I would bubble wrap it, use it for my absolute A goal races, and see what you can get out of this. But who would I recommend this shoe for? Who love a squashy shoe, who love a bouncy shoe, who love that plush feeling but also want some of that aggression in race day. You're going to get that in this shoe. Definitely for your marathon A goal races, and it is a fantastic feeling underfoot. It really is. It is an amazing shoe to actually have. Also, I'll be keeping this in my rotation, of course, and I will be taking it out for a few more races later on this year. Like I say, I will be interested, to be honest with you, to actually see what it's like over the 5k distance. I might just experiment with that just to report back for you. I don't know how long this foam is going to hold up for, but I will give you my report probably after 100 miles. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get there because I've only done 32 at the moment. It still feels pretty good. Actually, no, it still feels good, which I'm very pleased about since I've paid £265 for it. It is a fantastic, fantastic race shoe. This is an ideal shoe for anybody who has great city marathons coming up. The reason I say that, if you take this shoe and you want to run it in a nice straight line, you know, some beautiful smooth tarmac, you can lock into pace. It feels smooth. It's going to protect your legs. It's got energy. It feels punchy. It's going to propulse you forward. It's going to save your legs later on in the marathon. It is a fantastic race day option. I hope you enjoyed this review of the Asics Metaspeed Ray. Please leave a like, please comment down below, and keep on subscribing to my channel. And again, I just want to say thank you to everyone who keeps returning to my channel, who comments. I appreciate all your comments, I really do. But anyway, look guys, let's say these were my thoughts on the Asics Metaspeed Rays. I'm going to leave these thoughts with you, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye for now.